Hi, everyone. This is Jim Gillis with Win My Vote. Also, now with the National Student Mock Election, we decided to deal with a couple of groups, one of them being the Discovery Channel, the Discovery Education, to do a mock election. But that's another video. This one is just a basic introduction to what Win My Vote is and how it works. And I'll try to be really brief. I know the last one was about 13 minutes, so um, no one watched it. Anyway, so Win My Vote is an online mobile and social voter guide. So imagine a voter guide, but just the power of the internet and all of the things it can do. And it's designed for democracy, not for advertisers. And yes, that's a poke at Facebook and Twitter and a couple of these other social media platforms, but that everyone is using for campaigning, but they're not set up for it and they're not designed for it. So the mission is to create a level playing field in elections, provide voters a tool to organize and manage their vote, reduce money's influence in elections, and create a $100 million company in the process. So the idea came to me when I was flipping through the official voter guide. It's about 300 pages or something, nothing engaging at all. And I said to my wife, if Steve Jobs was in charge of voter information, it wouldn't look like this. It would look like iTunes, and running for office would be 99 bucks. Essentially, it would all be on one site, all interactive with sharing candidates and commenting and talking back and forth and favoriting and endorsing and all of that stuff. So, as I kind of went through this exercise, I kind of thought, why hasn't this thing gone online, mobile, and social? I know the elections department hasn't done it because they don't want anything to change. It's business as usual. It's run by, elected officials. But I was sort of, scratching my head about why some entrepreneur, why Silicon Valley hasn't, done something like this. And then I just ran through the basic numbers, 190 million voters, we'll call them buyers, about a million candidates, call them sellers. And this is a $6 to $11 billion industry where neither side is happy. Now, voters are obviously very unhappy about money in politics and the corruption. And candidates, if you talk with them, they'll tell you the worst part of the job is raising money, right? So they don't want money in politics or elections any more than we do. They just don't have any other option. And Win My Vote is now another option. So the technology is in place, the content is in place. This is just online dating for candidates. And this is usually where I would do a site demo, but I'll just show you some more slides and get that'll be faster. So this is what the ballot looks like. Voter here, Faster Voter 22 signs up with just an email address or social media account. They get their ballot and it's up and down their ballot, and they can see all the candidates side by side. They can click on a candidate and see the candidate profile. And again, these candidates build and manage their own profile the same way they would on online dating or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter. And it's just structured for voters, right? It's structured for us so we can look through the issues and endorsements, and we can click. Sorry about that. We can click straight through here and see the different candidates in this race real quickly. And then we can also start drilling down and seeing their bio and the About Me page. And then we can go back up here and click on issues. And then we can go quickly to the issues, or we can just scroll down and see, what the candidate has put on their issue statement and read through the issues that, they feel are most important. We can click on endorsements. Now, these are the groups and organizations and individuals that the candidate features. So we can look through them and see this little star here, how that one's kind of filled in. This is called trusted sources. And what you do when you first sign up, you go through a library of groups and organizations and individuals, your friends and people that you admire or trust, and you can select them as a trusted source, the same way you would follow someone on Twitter or become a friend with them on Facebook. So here, what I want to do is I just want to see my trusted sources. So here are all my trusted sources. And now I can just click straight through and see what they have to say about this candidate. And I can go through each one and watch their video and hear what they have to say. Sorry about that. But most important to me right now is Sarah. She's a good friend of mine. She does tons of research. And I know that she's, sort of nonpartisan and real fair about things. So I'm going to, see that she's endorsed this candidate, and then I can hear directly from her. And making these are super simple. She has a ballot. She clicks on a favorite. They say you want to endorse the favorite, write it here or put a YouTube URL share, the share URL right here, and then the video plays here. So she can just sit there in her living room, make a quick video, upload it to YouTube, take that link, embed it in here, and it's out to everybody. So what the other thing I can do is I can just click straight through to this group, and then I can go visit their group page. And their group page is essentially their voter guide, right? These are all the candidates that they're endorsing that are on my ballot. So you can see here, it goes all the way down, and they're made an endorsement for city council and school board on my ballot, which is great. And if I want, I can just favorite this candidate right here, and then my ballot will be updated, and I know I want to vote for this person, so same thing there. I can also just click on that, and that turns all of their favorites, all of their endorsements that are on my ballot to my favorites as well. So we'll go back here, and let's say I unchecked that star because I want to do all of it on my own. So I can go back here, and now I can favorite this candidate, and then I can share this candidate with a friend and say, hey, check this candidate out. Now my friend gets it, and instead of going to their web page or their Twitter account, which may be great, and they may even really like Elizabeth Warren, and then but there's no reason for them to ever go back to that site. And if they really like Elizabeth Warren and they're planning on voting for her, and even telling friends to vote for her, Elizabeth Warren will never know that, right? The only way she's going to know that is by hiring pollsters to go out and try to find, people on the street to see. With this way, Elizabeth Warren will know that, I have favorited her. And if my friend here wants to sign up, so now he's here and he goes, let's say, back to the ballot, and let's say he scrolls down. So he hasn't favorited her yet. So these percentages, right, will show the candidate how they're doing. And we'll actually give them the real numbers. We won't give them any names or ages or demographics or any of that other type of stuff. We're going to stay away from all of that, as well as all advertising. It's just going to be simply, votes are votes. You want to win them, then this is how you do it, right? You go up and you make your best case. They'll listen to you. They'll compare you side by side. And if you're the best candidate, they'll favorite you. So on this one, Tony here scrolls down, and he's interested in this race, the state assembly race, although he doesn't know anything about it. And this is how Win My Vote is going to take money out of elections. He's visiting here. He kind of recognizes Kathy. So Kathy's been campaigning for a year, and she spent $850,000. And Trisha here spent $150,000. He kind of recognizes her. He has no idea who Mike Young is, or Carl, either one of these guys. And it's because they haven't spent very much on their campaign. But here, since it's the level playing field, they can go through each one, and he can now click on Mike's profile and watch a video of Mike. He can even click straight through here, and it looks like Mike's part of this party, Unite America. So he clicks here, he can see Unite America's favorites, and he gets an idea of who they're favoriting. He can also, learn a little bit more about this party, this group. And he scrolls down and he learns about their issues and the other endorsements that they're doing. And he's really impressed. He really likes this. And then he's going to go check on some of Mike's local issues. And he's in line with that. So he can favorite Mike here, or he can go back to the ballot here and click Mike's star. And now Mike will move into that first position. And it's nice and prominent that that's who he's going to vote for. So he can do this through all the races. Then he can go here and say, hey, just show me my favorites, right? So these are all the favorites. He can scroll down, see how he's going to vote on the propositions. And by the way, this is just a really abridged version of the intro. So the propositions are as elaborate as the candidate profiles. They go into the full text, and then they go into groups and organizations that are supporting and groups and organizations that are opposing, and videos, and you can do all sorts of stuff, and then you can choose which way you're going to go. So he double checks and he says, yep, this all looks good, goes back up, and then, clicks on find my polling place, and he is ready to go. So it's a mobile, website that's very simple. It's reactive, and he can just click on it and say, okay, here are all my favorites. I'm ready to go and go vote. So the business model is really simple. Voters are free. Groups and organizations are free. Candidates pay about $2.99 per year per election. The numbers work out to 500,000 or so elected offices in the U.S., about a million candidates. With a platform like this, as soon as it gains some traction, we're seeing the candidates go from 1 million to 2 million to 3 million. We think there's going to be, instead of 3 and 4 candidates running for an office, we see it being a process where they have 20 or 30 candidates that are starting out, building profiles, trying to get some their friends to favorite them and do that type of stuff, and move into that final 4 or 5 or 6 candidates that get the most attention. So the 299 plus millions of candidates, there's plenty of revenue there to run the site, to do everything without any advertising at all. Now, we probably will do some advertising. There'll be non-political vacation stuff like that, but that's again phase 2, phase 3 down the road. We feel we can do that and without any problems. Also, from a business model standpoint, there are a lot of other opportunities to monetize things around groups and organizations where they can do internal polling and internal voting and member survey and a variety of other things. So this right here is for sponsors and investors for the 2020 National Student Mock Election. We are facilitating that. We expect about 5 million teachers and students. Discovery Education will have a live show on it. And we're looking forward to that being a great activity for us to do, to not only have a bunch of students on the platform kind of beta testing it and working out some of the issues, but then also just the idea of educating the group of future voters and how things work. So we're excited about that. The Win My Vote investment, we're looking at 25,000 and up. Believe it or not, we could probably do the whole thing for 50 or 100,000. We could finish the whole thing. We've already had a couple of chunks of investment, just small personal type of stuff. But we are, in really good shape to kind of just finish it off and roll it out there and start generating revenue. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.